Okay, we're live.
We're live. Hello, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Today's February 14th. You see we've got some roses back here.
Yes, roses that my husband gave to me and our 3 daughters. He's very romantic and very, very sweet. So we're happy to have him be in charge of Valentine's Day.
Yes, this is
the man of the home.
Very simple lesson. Never forget the flowers.
Never forget the flowers. Never forget the flowers. And now we get to share them with you guys.
Yeah, so how's everyone doing out there? I'm John Gardner, and this is my wife and law partner, Radlyn
Hey guys!
And we are Gardner and Mendoza. And we come to you once a week. We've been doing this on Wednesday nights for the most part. Recently, we've made a shift to Sunday night to see how that time works out for folks. And so instead of saying we come to you every Wednesday night, I say we come to you every week. We're going to try Sundays for a little bit and see how that works out for folks. So far, it's been pretty good. We've done this, our second week in a row now?
This is our second week, and we appreciate our Wednesday crew coming to Sunday and coming to watch us on Sunday. I told my mom to watch us on Sunday night, and she said, but I thought you did it on Wednesday. So that was good, actually, because she was paying attention, but of course she is my mom, so
yeah.
she has to. But yeah, we're gonna try it out, and if you guys want to leave some comments about what days you prefer to get this information, we would really appreciate it. We love your feedback, and just we're here for you all and here to answer your questions first and foremost.
That's right. And that is the main reason we come. We like to give you updates, and we're going to be talking tonight a little bit. I'm going to be talking about the driver privilege card again, the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, and also warning our non-U.S. citizen clients about marijuana. And Radlyn, of course, is going to be giving USCIS updates and answering your questions that you have. That's the main thing we want to do. So if you have immigration questions, please put them in the questions and we will answer them right here, right now.
Happy Valentine's Day, Miss Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for joining. And I think I saw Aunt Jill there. We were just
Yes,
texting.
we were just texting.
She's going to come to visit, and we're going to put her up for a half a night at the Cavalier Hotel because that's all we can afford. So,
Except you're not going to like the weather. South Florida, I'm guessing, is a much nicer weather situation than we have here in Virginia Beach right now.
yeah, we had a lovely lunch at Orion's rooftop restaurant.
That was cool.
At the oceanfront. It's at the new Marriott, and we're still full. I'm
full.
stuffed. We just too much.
But no joke, it's been raining here for I think 7 straight days, and it's going to continue raining for the next 7 days, I think, something like that. So
it's a good thing we love the rain.
yeah, I don't know. South
good
Florida,
thing we like.
South Florida's looking better and better each day. Anyway.
So
get your questions in, and before we get started, I wanted to also, as we said at the very beginning, happy Valentine's Day. Everybody knows that today's Valentine's Day. Also, don't forget, tomorrow is President's Day, which is a federal holiday, so don't forget, no mail, no banks, no school. All right, we will be answering questions, but our office is closed because it's a federal holiday. But if you have any questions, we always monitor those.
Oh,
federal holiday or not.
And Edison is watching. He's watching from the Philippines. So
hello,
love
Edison.
it.
How are you?
Happy Valentine's Day, buddy.
Yes. So Edison is a fellow lover of books and history
And Indian food.
and Indian food. That's
Right.
I don't know if you remember that, Edison.
He totally remembers it. There's no way he can't.
So those of you who know me, you know I love history. It's a hobby of mine, and so I wanted to very quickly say a little bit about President's Day, because tomorrow is President's Day. For those of you who don't know, it started out in the 1880s as just Washington's birthday. It was Washington's birthday that was a holiday. His birthday was February 22nd, and then in 1968, Lincoln was added. His birthday is on February 12th, and then a few years after that, it just sort of came to be known as President's Day. So the federal holiday President's Day really is Washington and Lincoln's birthdays, respectively. And it's celebrated on the 3rd Monday of each February, each year. All right?
Thank you for that history lesson.
So now you know, now when you're hanging out tomorrow and somebody says, oh, it's President's Day, you can say, oh yeah, I know all about that. Let me explain.
I know all that from Radlyn and John's Facebook Live.
That's right. And you never know. It could show up on a naturalization test. Nope.
No, I don't think it's one of the 128 questions. But one of the questions is name 2 federal holidays, and you could say President's Day, and that would be a correct answer.
President's
Most
Day.
people are answering Thanksgiving and Christmas. Pretty straightforward answers there. So let's see. David is hoping we have some champagne chilling at home. We don't. But we should end and get that champagne on ice.
Right.
That's a great idea, David.
Pink champagne on ice.
Is that from a song?
Eagles. Yeah.
Eagles.
Hotel California.
Yeah, right. I knew that sounded familiar.
Didn't mean to take things in a dark turn right there, but okay,
All
moving
right.
on.
What are your questions tonight, guys? Let's put them in the comments.
Absolutely.
And I also want to say that John and I are on Clubhouse, and it's a social media app, and it's audio only. And I kind of love it because, you all are typing your questions in, we're answering them, but on Clubhouse, it's a conversation. So if it's by invite only, and if you all want to get into the conversation with us about immigration, but not just immigration, there's so many different topics on Clubhouse, and it's just fun and to learn about new things, industries, hobbies, just all kinds of stuff. It's really neat. So if you guys need an invitation, let me know. I have some available because we've been hosting rooms there about, and I'm going to say this at the beginning, I'm going to say at the middle and at the end of our Facebook Live, about Citizenship Day, which is coming up on the 20th, next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
So if you've been sitting on your N400 application because you've got a couple of questions that you can't answer, or it's so long, you don't want to start, it's just a daunting task for you, please sign up for our Citizenship Day on February 20th. It is free, completely free. And Citizenship Day is something that we do all across the country with the American Immigration Lawyers Association and other community-based organizations. Now, Gardner Mendoza is not a typical community-based organization in that it's a for-profit law firm, of course, but this is the one thing that we do every single year. We organize it in the Hampton Roads area, and we serve 30 to 40 people, not just lawyers from our law firm, but immigration attorneys from the area. And this year we've got volunteers just ready, willing, and able to walk you through that N400. If you all know anyone, please share this, because it would be a shame not to fill all of our slots. We do have some slots open, and we have great people that will be able to help you with completing that N400. I could talk about this for a long time, but I am going to talk about it 3 times during this Facebook Live. So February 20th, the information is on our Facebook page. If you have any questions, you can put it in the comments, and I'll send you the information. I'll send you the link. This is just something we really, really want the community to take advantage of, as they do every year. And it's going to be all virtual. And if we get too many people, we've got 38 volunteers in the Maryland, Virginia, and DC area, immigration attorneys and professionals who are willing to help, ready to help, and it's basically just a one-on-one with you and the immigration attorney and maybe a law student, and going over your N400 application. It's a service that we charge thousands of dollars for if you don't go through Citizenship Day, and so that's why we're offering it every year, and we do it through American Immigration Lawyers Association. It's something I'm extremely passionate about. So please, 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 if you know anyone who could take advantage, please send them our way, and we will hook them up with free representation for the N400 and the application for naturalization. All right.
Yeah, so if you have questions tonight, let's get them in. Last week we had a ton of questions. None here this evening yet. I should remind everyone, by the way, that the information we do provide, whether it's just something we're telling you about or answering a question, is not legal advice. It's for educational and informational purposes only. It's accurate, but we have to just say that as a disclaimer. Okay.
Right. And we do have, when people send us a message in chat and we haven't spoken with them before, or we haven't had a full consultation with them, and they'll ask a question, maybe the question will be something like, and this, we'll just talk about this as a practice tip, because we do get this question a lot. Maybe the question is, I'm here on a B1, B2 tourist visa. I want to know my options as to how to get lawful permanent residency in the United States. Or maybe they'll say, here I'm on a B1, B2 visa, and I want to become a U.S. citizen. Or how can I get a work visa? Well, it's impossible to know the answer to that. It's an extremely broad question without sitting down and having, in this case, a virtual Zoom face-to-face meeting, getting all of your immigration history, all of the facts, any issues that may come up. And we explore all of that during our 1-hour consultation. So when we're talking here on Facebook Live, if you put a question in, we try to answer it as best we can, but that's why we have the disclaimer that this is not legal advice. This is for educational purposes only. And if you want to rely on this, please come in and meet with us with regard to a consultation. And some things, yes, we can answer quickly. You can move on, close your application, mail it off, and be on your way. Sometimes, but a lot of the times, especially when it's those very open-ended questions, what can I do? Well, tell me a little bit about the situation. And unfortunately, we just don't have that ability to do that here on Facebook Live. But anything that we can help you with, please let us know.
Absolutely. Okay, so we are going to get some few USCIS updates and, of course, answer questions. But I'm going to go first and hit some things that I like to talk about every week just to make sure that it remains on everyone's radar. And the first one is marijuana. All right, this is a hot topic right now. Many of you know that in Virginia, it has been decriminalized, and it looks like it's now on a path to becoming legalized, which is slightly different than decriminalized. But in any event, we will join, looks like, many other states in the union that also have made it legal to smoke marijuana and sell marijuana and use marijuana, whatever. But I want to warn all of our non-U.S. citizens that it still is an immigration problem, or still can be an immigration problem, okay? So I don't want folks getting the impression that, oh, it's legal to use marijuana now, I'm a permanent resident, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it, or I'm a student here on a visa, and I'm gonna go ahead and use marijuana. Marijuana still poses a threat to non-U.S. citizens, so you have to make a decision. Either don't you do it or get caught doing it, or naturalize, become a U.S. citizen first, and then after you're a citizen, if you want to participate in it, that's up to you. But don't do it if you're not a U.S. citizen. Okay, there's just too much risk involved at this point. Okay?
Right. And I've been talking about this issue with our immigration colleagues, other immigration attorney colleagues, and one of the questions that comes up in our groups and with other immigration attorneys is, I'd like to invest in a business like this, the cannabis business, the cannabis industry. It's very hot right now and people want to invest in it. And we're asking our clients who are non-U.S. citizens to put the brakes on that before they do that. Because again, the law is still developing. And my answer right now is no, do not invest in a cannabis industry business right now if you are a non-U.S. citizen, because it could impact your ability to apply for U.S. citizenship, perhaps even impact your ability to come back into the United States after leaving the United States as a lawful permanent resident, and would really, really hate to see that happen to our clients. Let's see here.
Yeah, your cousins have joined. Michelle,
oh, my cousin. Nice. Cousins.
How y'all doing? And there was a question.
I see the question here.
Okay.
So my cousin Michelle, how's it going? Haven't seen you in forever.
She's been busy.
Shame on us. Yes, she's been busy for not getting together. She's been busy. My cousin works in the hero business. My husband does too.
That's thank you.
She works at a, well, what would you call it? retirement community.
Yeah, I think
Retirement
that's fair.
community.
Maybe
And
she can correct us if that's
she's
not the right one.
if that's not the right but she's there in the retirement community and helping the elderly. And I know this COVID is hitting them pretty hard, and she's definitely on the forefront because she's in charge. Congratulations again, cuz, for always being in charge wherever you are. And anyhow, she has a question. She says, is the visa for immigrants canceled abroad? So right now, I think what Michelle is referring to is just the ability for immigrants to get their, number one, their interview for immigrant visas, and two, even if they, schedule that interview, issue the interview, are they able to come to the United States? Right now, there is a pause on that, unfortunately. So it is paused. It's I guess canceled is the right the right word for it, because many are not going to be able to come, and those interviews are not being scheduled right now, with some exceptions. The exceptions being if you are, the spouse or the child of a U.S. citizen, if that you have military family members involved. But yes, there is a pause on that. Hopefully that has answered your question, because if it hasn't, go ahead and write or call me. We'll talk about it on air.
That's right.
But, and my cousin, yeah. So happy Valentine's Day to you. Appreciate the question. Appreciate that you popped on. And yeah, we definitely need to get together for sure. All right. So have you said your marijuana piece?
I did. I warned about the marijuana, but you mentioned
Marijuana piece.
You mentioned our clients who are business owners or just others that want to invest, and that's jogged my memory too about the PPP. I'm going to segue right into that. Those of you who are business owners, you may not be aware the Paycheck Protection Program, which was a program designed to provide very low interest rate loans to business owners, basically to use for payroll and rent. The concept behind it is if you run a business and you get this loan and you use it to keep all of your employees on payroll, you don't fire anyone, you don't decrease their wages, then at the end of the period, you can apply for forgiveness of the loan, and the Small Business Administration is who's making that determination. So that was a great program. And for those of you who don't know, there is a round 2 of PPP right now that you may want to look into. If you're a business owner, you may want to go to your bank and ask them about it and ask them how to apply for it. The round 2 PPP, the criteria is slightly different. For the round 2 PPP, you'll have to be able to show that your business had a 25% drop in gross revenue in any one quarter from 2020 versus that same quarter in 2019. A lot of businesses are able to show that, especially in that second quarter of 2020 when COVID really was just new and everything was shutting down across the board. A lot of businesses really took a hit during that time period. So ask your bank about it, and if you're in charge of the company, look at all the quarters, but I would definitely look at the second and third quarters of 2020 and compare them to your second and third quarters of 2019. You may see that you meet that 25% drop threshold, okay? It's a great deal, because then you can, even if you don't qualify for the forgiveness, it still is a super low interest rate loan, okay? So that's my advice on that. And until we have some more questions, I'll move right into the driver privilege card, because that's what I like to talk about most.
Can I pause you for a second?
You can totally pause me.
All right. So before you get into that, I wanted to talk about our inspirational immigration story of the week.
Yes.
And
yes.
We've highlighted some famous people, some not so famous people, famous in the what people think of as famous. And today, someone actually sent us a story about their immigration and just kind of what they've been going through. And I want to share the story because it's very inspirational story, and I love the way that she wrote it and then she wrote it out. And I just really want to thank Miss Evelina for being a big supporter of our Facebook Live. She's always here. I can't tell whether she's here right now or not. But she sent us just a great story and one that John and I could relate to and definitely see in some of our clients. So I'll try to paraphrase what she wrote, but she says that growing up becoming an American citizen was never her American dream, even though it meant everything to her father, because it was his U.S. citizenship that allowed her to migrate to the United States. And she says, can you believe that? It was not my American dream. I can believe that. I mean, you coming from your own country. And she says not even her father's citizenship was enough to convince her to give honor to the United States. And she says that people would try to convince her all the time. Even her best friend with his pathway story from a little boy in Haiti to a proud soldier in the United States could not convince her. And Miss Evelina thought she needed her own story. She needed to feel proud, honored, and overjoyed about such a decision. And that's super, I love that, because, you know, she wanted to make it to be super meaningful to her. So in 2018, and she says, although her story is bittersweet, she was certain it's her time to become a U.S. citizen. She is a breast cancer survivor. And due to her breast cancer survivorship, she couldn't be any more convinced that she was truly blessed to be in the United States. And she says this: a country with doctors who walked with me every step of the way, a country that provided me with excellent treatment options, and a country with so many resources blew my mind. And that was my eye-opener, she says. That was my reason. That was my aha moment for, after hearing the horror stories of what some unfortunately go through in seasons like this, no one else had to ask me again about citizenship, because at that point, because of medical care that she received, she was convinced. So that America, for so many years, after so many years of resisting, was in fact the greatest, and she says, the North American country. And there was no reason whatsoever for her to miss an opportunity like that. So thank you so much for sharing that story, because it absolutely highlights a lot of what people feel. And that is, okay, yes, I am here in the United States, but, you know, can I give up my citizenship from where I was born and where my culture is? And it's a hard decision. I think for a lot of our clients, sometimes it's more of a, I'm not going to say business decision. You know, it's more of a, okay, well, this is the thing that I'm supposed to be doing now. Kind of like when John, like, well, I guess we're supposed to be having kids now because everyone else is having kids. Or, you know, I've been a permanent resident for 5 years. I guess I go ahead and apply for citizenship. But Miss Evelina, she really took it to heart and really thought about it. And when the time was right, it was extremely, extremely meaningful for her. So thank you so much for sharing your inspirational story. I know it wasn't hard to talk about that, because you hear that everybody's super gung-ho to do it, and they want to do it, and they're, you know, dying to be here and do it. But that's not everyone per se. And for Miss Evelina, it needed to be very meaningful for her, and it came to her. So awesome.
And the meaning of that citizenship is different for everyone. I mean, for those of us, you know, who are born here, we don't really think about it. It's the country we were born in. But for every immigrant, there's some motivation behind that. There is to leave your country of birth and go somewhere new and set down roots there and stay there and then become a citizen. There has to be something very compelling going on in your heart and mind, and it's different for everyone. So that's a cool story.
I love it. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being a Facebook fan and all of your support. I see a couple of new people here. I see Rumi, Isabel. She's here, our old roommate. Isabel's about to have a baby.
I know, it's so exciting.
So exciting.
She and Chris are very lucky.
Yes, the baby's going to be very lucky.
Totally.
I don't know about the grandma. And my cousin says, you're almost 49, any party? I'm not going to have a party in COVID. I don't want to be the super spreader reason, but yes, this will be my last year in my 40s. So I'm super excited about that.
The only super spreading we want to do is immigration updates.
And love and joy. Good news. There's a lot of other super spreading.
For those of you who are old enough to remember what I just did, that's called jumping the shark. All right?
I don't think anyone knows what that is.
I bet
You had to.
I bet you. Let's see. If anyone out there knows what that is referring to, you just do like a thumbs up or something. in the
Right,
comment.
what jumping the shark is referring to, and we will send you a brand new BMX bike.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, here's a question. How can a tourist get a driver's license?
A tourist can get a driver's license. Virginia, I'm not sure, but so if you're a tourist and you need to get a driver's license, I'm going to say there could be a problem with that. If you are a multiple entry on a B1, B2 tourist visa and you're kind of going back and forth, and say CBP at the airport says, okay, well, what are you doing in the United States? You know, you're kind of in and out a lot, and you say, oh, I'm just here to visit my sister, and they say, okay, and you say, can we take a look at your wallet? And you have, say, a Virginia driver's license. Well, why do you have a Virginia driver's license if you're just here to visit? And what do you need this for? So that it could be problematic in that way. But my understanding is that you can get the Virginia driver's license or a driver's license in some states, and we'd have to take a look at the DMV. But that driver's license is only going to be for the time that you're allowed to be in the United States per your I-94, which you can get from CBP lookup. You can look up your I-94 and your stay here. So basically, once you get to the United States, let's just kind of walk through it as far as the procedure is. You get to the United States, and like, I need a driver's license, and I don't know what state you're going to be in, and every state is going to be different because every DMV has its own different rules and regulations. And perhaps by the time you get into the DMV, because of COVID, you're 60 days into your 6-month stay, perhaps, and you go and you apply for that driver's license. I believe that it's only going to be for the remainder of your stay. That is the case in Virginia anyway. Do you have any insights on that?
I don't. I was thinking about the driver privilege card, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, but it certainly wouldn't apply to a tourist.
No, right? Because you
not
are
supposed to be
in
working if you're a tourist, so you don't want to have income.
right. You were in lawful status, and I was doing a little bit of research before we hopped on Facebook Live, and there was a website that had all of the states and all of their requirements for driver's licenses for people who are non-lawful permanent residents and non-U.S. citizens, and who could apply for a driver's license in each state. And you'd have to refresh my recollection as to what state it is, and we can try to help you figure out what the requirements are. But here in Virginia anyway, if you come in on a tourist visa, you can drive, right? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, if you are here and you have a license from your home state or country, you are allowed to drive in Virginia for a limited duration. So if you're on a vacation or you're just visiting for a few months, it's actually up to 6 months. So you're not required to have a Virginia driver's license until you're considered to be domiciled. That's a legal term for living in Virginia, like as your permanent place where you live. And the way that is established is by living here for more than 6 months. So if you've been living here for more than 6 months, then you're considered to be domiciled by law in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And at that point, since this becomes your home residence, then you're required to switch your license over to a Virginia driver's license, which some people can do and some people can't, depending on what the immigration situation is. But the Virginia Code specifically does say that a non-resident over the age of 18 who has in their immediate possession a driver's license from their own home state or country shall be able to drive in Virginia without obtaining a Virginia driver's license. So it's designed to protect, imagine somebody's visiting from California for a couple of weeks. Obviously, they don't need to get a Virginia license, right? That makes sense to us. But it also applies to other countries. If somebody's just on a vacation from France visiting Williamsburg for a couple of weeks, same thing. They can drive with their French license. They don't need to get a Virginia license to do that. I will warn you, a lot of the police officers and state troopers do not seem to know this. And so be careful if you're driving without a Virginia license. Even if you've only been here for a short period, you may want to really check those brake lights and headlights and everything. Make sure don't speed. Don't give them any reason to pull you over because sadly this is a law that a lot of law enforcement seems to not know about or misunderstand or willfully misunderstand. I don't know which the case is, but
I don't think it's willfully.
I don't. Just saying.
Right. And John knows this because a large part of his law practice is representing people in court who have been given a ticket for driving with no driver's license, driving with no operator's license, sorry.
Yes, that's true. I've had judges ask me, Mr. Gardner, this is the thing you do all the time. What are the code sections again here? And what do they say?
He is definitely the guru. So if you do happen to get pulled over and you know that you have your driver's license from the Philippines and you're driving in Virginia and you know you've only been here for 3 months and you haven't been working, then John can represent you and win your case. Is that 100%? No, we can never say 100%. This is 97%.
One tip I can give you is the law enforcement that does know about it. They may ask you how long you have been in Virginia, and if it's been less than 6 months, tell them that. Say, I've only been here for a month or however long it's been, and say that it's your understanding that you're allowed to drive with your foreign driver's license since you've only been here for a limited time, and hopefully that'll be okay. They'll look it up and say, oh, okay, yeah, you're right about that. How about that?
Right.
If you've been here more than 6 months, that's a whole different story.
Whole different story. And this is a great segue into Jason Thomas's question. Thank you for the question, Jason. He says, if I have a driver's license in the UK, do I have to take a test to be able to drive in the US, Virginia, once I become a permanent resident? So if you are a lawful permanent resident applicant, you have filed your I-485 application, your application for adjustment of status, then once you get that receipt from USCIS, you could actually go into or make an appointment for the DMV and get your driver's license at that point in time. So you don't actually have to wait till you become a lawful permanent resident, because that could take a long time. It could take a year before that happens. So you're able to take that I-485 receipt with the other things that are required for the driver's license, and you can apply for a driver's license. So hopefully that helps.
Mm-hmm. And I should note too that you do get a grace period. Once you've been here those 6 months, then you're required, then you have 60 days to switch it over. So you really get 8 months total to be here with that other license. All right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that's a little extra wrinkle there. And for those of you who are interested in looking this up on your own, the Virginia code sections here, they start at 46.2-300 and they go through up to 308. So 46.2-300 to 308 are the code sections that specifically talk about this.
You guys go look that up. It's really exciting.
Very exciting.
Can you say that again? That was very romantic. You say 46.2. Oh, yes.
Yes, I did.
Dash 300 to
Code
308.
Did I say Code of Virginia 1950 as amended? That's the official.
Mm-hmm. We did meet and fall in love in law school.
That's true. Okay. Also, in the same
you are welcome, Jason.
interest area, regardless of your immigration status. Okay, let's say you don't have any license and you don't have any documents, you have no legal status in the United States, in Virginia now, or maybe you're just waiting, whatever your immigration situation is. But if you are in a position where you can't show lawful presence yet, and lawful status to get a license, you can get a license now in Virginia under the new driver privilege card law, which went into effect on January 1st of this year. All right. As long as you can show that you have insurance, and as long as you can pass the written test and the road test, and you can show that you have that you live in Virginia and that you've earned income in Virginia in the last 12 months and that it's been reported on a tax return, then you are eligible for something called a driver privilege card, which is basically just like a license, except you can't use it for anything other than driving, and you have to renew it every 2 years. But it looks just like a Virginia driver's license. Okay. It may not be for everyone. If you're thinking about doing this, I would caution you to give us a call first, because there are some folks that I would advise against, those who maybe are already dealing with immigration in an adverse way. You may want to avoid calling further attention to yourself. If you're already dealing with immigration in an adverse way, but they know who you are, they know where you are, you've already been dealing with them very formally, then maybe you don't have to worry about it because they already know that you're out there and where you are, okay? But I highly recommend this to anybody who drives a lot. I think the risk of getting a ticket for no operator's license is greater than the risk of getting into trouble for applying for this. And one of the questions, because we've been doing several of these, one of the questions that I've been getting a lot of, so I'm just going to answer it for everyone out there now. We're having a lot of folks come to us who say, well, I meet all the requirements, but I haven't reported any income on taxes. I haven't filed any taxes. Can I still apply for this? The answer is yes. You'll have to get an individual tax identification number, and then you'll have to file your back taxes for those prior years, okay, or that prior year. So yes, you can. You may have penalties, and you're going to have to pay the tax, of course, if you owe tax, but you can do it. And if you've been getting cash only, that's the follow-up question folks are giving me as well. I didn't file the taxes. I have been working, but all the money I ever made was cash. So there's no way for me to verify that. You still can do it. Okay, what we can do is we can get an accountant involved and have your back taxes filed, and then you'll have to report the cash that you made, the income that you made in the form of cash on a Schedule C. Again, you'll have to pay tax on it and any penalty or interest that may be involved. But it may be worth it for you to go through that if you're driving every day and you want to do it without having to worry about getting pulled over and getting in trouble. All right? So if you know anyone who needs help with this, or if you need help with this, please give us a call. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. Okay?
Okay, so Jason is asking some follow-up questions about whether he has to take a test. That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. He has a UK, he has a UK driver's license. I don't think so. Here's what I found here on the DMV website, Virginia DMV website, and I'll put the link in there for you, Jason, for you to take a look at it. It says that if you're 18 or older, wait, hold on a second. New residents, if you're exchanging a foreign driver's license from France, Germany, Japan, Taiwan, or South Korea, DMV must first verify the validity of your driver's license with a foreign country. Prior to issuing you a Virginia driver's license, you will need to complete the exchange of driver's license from a foreign country application. I don't know if my clients do that. I'll have to double check this and submit it with a copy of your foreign license. If you choose not to take advantage of this driver's license reciprocity program, you must pass the 2-part knowledge exam and the road skills test. So, however, you may not be required to show proof of successful completion or if you provide satisfactory evidence that you hold a foreign license. So it sounds like a no here, but I want to take a look at this a little bit more closely it sounds like a no, but there's a reciprocity program. I'm going to put this in the comments.
I think it's going to be limited to those states.
The countries?
I mean, those countries, excuse me.
Okay, so we'll take a look at that, and Jason, you can also look at that, and we can talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, and you noticed at the beginning of there is that what you were just reading is that 60 days that I was referencing a minute ago.
Right.
At the very top there, within 60 days of moving here. And when they say moving here, they mean once this becomes your residence. Again, you do have the ability to drive for 6 months without it, or working. And this is really a technicality, but it's living here 6 months or working here for 60 days. But that's very difficult for the Commonwealth of the Police to prove that you have been working more than 60 days here. And so these cases always rise or fall on how long you've been here, not on the working part of it.
I love technicalities.
I do too. Absolutely.
All right. You're good with the driver privilege card?
I'm good. If you know anyone who will benefit from that, give us a call. Okay? I'd be happy to help them.
Jason's been driving for 30 years. So Jason probably does not want to have to take a road test or a written test, and I don't blame you.
Here's the one problem though, Jason. You've been driving for 30 years, but on the wrong side of the road.
Exactly. Hopefully you're laughing, Jason, because we're laughing.
Or maybe we've all. Exactly. He's going to say that we've all been driving on the wrong side of the road.
Right, exactly.
I get that.
Well, our British friends, they all seem to be fine driving on the right side of the road.
Yes. Yeah, and I've driven in England. It takes a little getting used to, but it's a pretty fast learning curve, quite frankly.
Okay, Jason has a sense of humor. Excellent. We're good. Jason, you're good. We're good. All right. Have I been driving for 30 years? Yes, I have been. 33 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I was a very reckless little driver when I was 16 years old. I will say that for sure. All right. So this is an update that I just wanted to mention, and I probably would not have mentioned it otherwise. But for a friend a Facebook friend was alerting her Facebook friends to what's going on in Myanmar right now, in the military coup and everything else that's happening there, and the citizens basically getting arrested in the middle of the night, and it's just horrible going on in Myanmar. So guys, pay attention to that and support that cause if it's something that means something to you. But I just wanted to say something about it because on February 10th, the President Biden issued an executive order imposing sanctions on anyone contributing to the instability, and this quote, in Burma, including among other things, suspending the immigrant and non-immigrant entry into the United States of anyone who has been involved with the instability. So that is an extremely broad, to me, just the wording, anyone contributing to the instability, including sanctioning them financially as well as suspending immigrant and non-immigrant entry. So hopefully you're not on the wrong side of that. But I wanted to mention that to you. And I also wanted to mention and remind everyone, it is H-1B season. What are we, February 14th right now? And USCIS is opening up registrations on March the 9th, and they're going to go through March 25th. So if you are an employer and you need to file a new H-1B for a potential employee or a current employee, the time is now to start thinking about what you want to do. All right. So Jason says that Virginia is very quiet.
Yeah, I mean, driving in London is pretty intense.
We had such a great time in London a couple of years ago. Did we not? We went to an immigration conference there.
And we spent a week in London, had a wonderful time.
It was amazing.
What a beautiful city. It really is a fantastic place. If anyone is out there who's never been to London, I highly recommend it.
Put it on the list.
Put it on the list, on the bucket list. That's right.
All right, let's see here. Do we have any other immigration updates? Oh, what happened? Oh, here, my document's right in front of me. You were talking about just having people make sure that, if you're going for the driver privilege card, and sorry, I was going to mention this, but I was at the Virginia DMV. There has been a bill that was passed in the House, and to severely limit ICE from using DMV data related to the recently enacted driver privilege card for immigration enforcement uses. So we all know that it's a problem. The practitioners, the immigration attorneys, criminal defense attorneys, we know that it's a problem that, oh my gosh, we're going to have the people applying for the driver privilege card, and then ICE can comb the database, or perhaps DMV even shares this information, and it's a problem. And obviously we don't want that to happen, because the whole point of this is to make things safer on the roads for Virginians. So that was passed by the House, and we'll continue to watch it and to monitor it as well.
Yeah, that's like the equivalent of it's a sort of a legislative patch, I think, to try to address one of the primary concerns, as Radlyn just said, is that I think people have a lot of fear that they're gonna come out, they're gonna apply for this driver privilege card, provide this information to DMV, they're gonna be promised that it's not being shared with anyone, and then the next thing they know, they've got a problem with immigration because it was shared, or intentionally or not. And so they're sort of trying to put a more intense patch on that to make sure that people understand that no, this is a safe thing to do if you qualify for it. Otherwise, you don't need to be worried that ICE is going to be at your front door a week after you went and applied for this thing.
Right. Well, I don't see any other questions, so
I do not see any other questions, so I guess.
So what I want to end on on Citizenship Day. Did you guys know that Citizenship Day is coming up on February 20th on Saturday?
I did not. Why don't you tell us about it?
Citizenship Day, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gents, Citizenship Day is coming up, and what it is a day where immigration attorneys and immigration professionals will sit down with you and your N-400 application and complete that application for you, with you, walk you through it, make sure that you are ready to go in filing this, and even help you determine your eligibility if there's something where the attorney will say, okay, well, you just got, say, a reckless driving ticket last year, and or hasn't been resolved yet. You can't apply for citizenship right now because of this reckless driving ticket. So the attorney will help you with that eligibility. It's completely free. We're doing signups right now at Gardner Mendoza, our Facebook page. So please, 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 if you know someone who has been wanting to do this, maybe they've been afraid to do it, maybe they feel like they want an attorney to help them, but they can't afford an attorney. This is for them. This is for the community. Please share this information because we really want to help as many people as we can. Right now in Maryland, in Virginia, and DC, we have 38 attorney volunteers, immigration professional volunteers, and all day long from 10 to 3. They're there to help the community on Citizenship Day, and we're partnering up with American Immigration Lawyers Association. And we do this every year, and it's just a great event for the community. It's a great event for our law firm and our attorneys at the law firm and our team to go out and help the community. So please, please, please share that Citizenship Day. It is this coming up Saturday in just 6 days, day after my birthday. So it would be a great birthday party for me, for everyone who is eligible for citizenship, or even if you don't know whether you're eligible, to come on this Zoom party and party for my birthday on Citizenship Day so we can help as many people as possible.
Absolutely.
So, yes, I shall end with that, or we shall end with that,
Yep,
unless you have anything
good.
else.
No, I do not.
I'm just kind of scrolling here.
No more questions. Well, everybody, enjoy the remainder of your Valentine's Day. Hope it's been a good one. I hope you have a good night, and have a great President's Day tomorrow. Again, federal holidays, so no school, no banks, no mail. Right.
John's upset about no mail. He loves mail.
I love mail. I really do. I don't know what it is. I get it from my dad. Obsessed with the mail. Okay, everyone, have a great night, all right?
Yes, two thumbs up. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for spending this time with us. Please share if you think other people might benefit from our Facebook Lives weekly.
Yep. We'll see you next time.
Okay, take care.